Gather around, school brothers and sisters. This is Under Lights, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave, and I got Justin on the other side. Let's go, let's go. What's up, man?
Not much. Thanks everybody for joining us. Sorry, with all the affiliations of other content creators, with Tyler getting his new dog on Monday, they had their show tonight. So I said, well, you know what? It's not the season. Dave doesn't have his show with Rap later. We can push us back a half an hour and let you guys get in on the action here. So thanks everybody for joining us. We are less than 2 weeks away from training camp. We already got a ton of people in the building already. We got My Worthless Opinion. We got Dave from First and Skull. What's up, Grandpa Dave? Doctor is in the building as well. Hey, shout out to the doctor. I heard about your story about your pet on the show with Tyler and Dave. Props to you and our condolences to you. What's up? I want to mock Bob. Thanks for joining as well. Make sure y'all hit them like buttons on both the channels. If you don't already subscribe, hit the subscribe button. What we going to talk about today, Dave? We got new jerseys. We can do one final recap on the Netflix show, and we got a top five. Everybody's doing top five, so we got to do a top five.
Well, I figure we'll talk that the Netflix show's probably been talked to death, but it's our first time being on the together, and I watched your entire thing on Saturday with Yogi, and it's funny because I was like, I put in hashtag skull and I thought, you know what? If I win this plaque, I'm going to give it to Mary Fisk.
Yeah.
And she won anyway.
Yeah, she won anyway. You know what? It was her birthday on Monday, or yesterday. So happy belated birthday to Mary one more time. Pour out a Coors Light if you're drinking a beer from Mary. That's her favorite. And yes, I mean, both Yogi and I were just like, oh, Mary. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody. We love all the people who come and support us. We didn't show no bias. We just spun the wheel. But yeah, it was really cool that Mary got that, and I DM'd her to get her address, and she said she was very, very happy that she got that. So congratulations to her for that as well. But yeah, no, the Netflix thing, we'll touch on it. It's been talked to death. You did an episode. I did a show with Yogi on Sunday during that where I gave a lot of opinions on it. I'm guessing the biggest takeaways from that you heard was that if Kirk Cousins won a Super Bowl, I would let you do a show telling me how wrong I am for up to 4 hours. I'm guessing you heard that part, right?
You said something, but yeah. Well, I mean, you said something. I did a poll, and I didn't check to see what the results are yet. I'm sure there's a lot of votes in, but I was like, hey, what has been the result of the show, and what do you think about Kirk? And I put you were positive and you were the same or better, or you're negative and now you're positive, or negative, or worse. Other right in what you are. So I get the results of that coming. I'll look that up here in a little bit, but I think across the board, besides the and I use the word pretzel, not in your case because you weren't like that, but the amount of pretzels people had to put themselves to say something positive about Kirk, and it was a lot of the times was like led with, oh, they make fun of him, and then they say what's good about him from that video. And I mean, I watched Locked On Sports guys get together after that, and they couldn't help but crack on him. I think it was Luke Braun had a quote out there, and he didn't correct it, but I didn't know how to take it either way, because everybody thought in his comments whether or not it was negative, or they thought it was a negative comment, but it was Netflix quarterback begins with Julie Cousins insisting that the Cousins are just normal people, followed by 8 episodes of extremely persuasive evidence to the contrary. Kirk Cousins is completely insane.
Oh, really?
That was Luke Braun's take for like 5 days ago. Okay. And I was like, he didn't say anything. And so initially I thought negative. Then I thought maybe he's saying insane, like, oh my God, what an incredible, what he had to go through or whatever. Well, then I looked and the comments, and all of them were assuming that he was meaning the negative. Because
Well, of
people
course.
like, yeah, I agree. He's a jack, he's a this. And then the other one's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Luke? And he never corrected it. So I was like, I want to ask him in person. I might have to bring him on a show.
And see what he meant by it.
What do you mean by this?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to me, the NFL is still king and are still geniuses. They released that documentary on the one day on the sports calendar that there's no NFL, MLB, NBA, or NHL because it's the day after the baseball All-Star game. And it was a very, very well produced documentary, regardless of anybody's opinions on any one of the quarterbacks going into or after watching it. It was very, very well done. My opinion of Kirk, I don't think it's really changed all that much. I have a little bit more of a understanding that, we all knew he takes a beating. We all know that he's been the most hit quarterback in the last year or two. But, man, just seeing him day after day, having to get his body just to be ready to go. And I said this on Sunday. I've always had the mindset that there should be no Thursday night games other than week 1 with the champion being the lid lifter. That's fine. But then they should put the kibosh on the Thursday night games up until like maybe the 3rd or 4th Thursday in October. And it should always be that any team that's playing on Thursday should be coming off their bye week, because that gave you an even more of an appreciation of these teams that turn it around. Of course, the Vikings are going to be one of the first 2 teams playing in Philly on Thursday night in week 2. But that's just ridiculous what those guys put. We always knew that, but you really, regardless of what you feel about Kirk or Mahomes or Mariota or any other quarterback, man alive, those guys, they just get crushed. And, I remember Kirk getting the wind knocked out of him in Washington. I was actually at the Mall of America during the Score North.
I remember the
live show.
Tight end screen right after that.
Yeah. You couldn't just hand the ball off. We had to try to do another day.
No, we had to do a tight end screen.
Yes, exactly. But we knew that Kirk took a beating in Buffalo, but we didn't know that the wind got knocked out of him again. And, he toughed it out that game. That's for dang sure. I always knew he was a good, down-to-earth, wholesome, good guy, great husband, great father. So, that didn't really change my opinion of that. I've always thought that he's a good person. It's never been about that. But I really thought it was cool that in his house in Detroit or in Michigan, wherever that is, where he's got the James Bond door bookcase into his paraphernalia room. And I'm like, good on you, Kirk, for not being the guy that puts all of his accomplishments, right outside your front door for everybody to see that you got it in a hidden room. And really cool to have that door. What do you think?
Yeah, I was wondering if I would hear people like, oh God, Kirk's got a trophy room, hang the banner.
Whatever.
No, but everybody is really positive about that. But one of the things and I didn't hear a whole lot of contact about it, and I give him a hell of a lot of credit for, he flexed a little bit. He says, I have this, in the KOC too, said something similar, like, that he's bad in primetime games, but there's a stat out there that says, the defense on his primetime games gives up like 27 points a game. So it's not all on him, but he says, there's a lot of game balls from Monday night here that, they don't just give those out to people who have bad games. So I don't know. So I think he kind of slid that in when he was, because you could see them and had Monday night logos on them. So he's won some game balls on primetime. And he did, they had the primetime game against the Patriots, said he balled out on. Obviously, Eagles was just rough all around.
Right.
But hey, Sarah.
What's up, Sarah?
I know you said he ain't a dog. Ron Johnson from Locked On Sports. Kirk Cousins is a dog, quote unquote. Sorry. Oh, according to Ron Johnson, anyways.
Yeah. Right.
But I did think it was cute that his wife, who's as cute as a button, right, says, it was the Buffalo game, I think, and he goes, what a baller. But she said it in her, super sweet, innocent voice.
Yeah.
And I use that as my thumbnail on my video review. But I misquoted her, but she says, what a baller.
She
So that
doesn't
was
quite say it with the connotation that, say, Brittany Mahomes does, is what you're saying. Yeah, no, you're right. What's up, Bandino? Good to see you. What's
well,
up, Rap?
I think she was super impressed with what he was able to accomplish,
Oh,
and I think the rest
absolutely.
of us were, because after we saw that game, and then we see the video of how much he got beat up in that
Yeah.
Buffalo game. I was unaware that he was that. That's the one takeaway, is I did not know he was playing so many games in a row, still suffering from an injury in the Buffalo game, that he never really. I've had broken ribs or cracked ribs before, and I didn't want to get out of bed. Now, obviously, he's got someone treating him at home, and getting him back on the field. But putting that flak jacket on, I wore rib pads in high school. That
Mhm.
just freaking keeps you from breathing. And to throw some rib pads on there, throw some bruised ribs in there. It's
Yeah.
like I can't imagine playing that game like that with the. So I think if he wasn't, we already knew he was tough because he doesn't miss
Oh,
any games.
absolutely. Yeah.
But just the fact that he was able to overcome that, and Mahomes too, later with that ankle injury, that was severe. I mean, that's a severe injury for a player. If he played another position, if he was a receiver, he wouldn't have been playing.
Probably not. No, I mean,
yeah.
I remember the episode 8 where they were going into the highlights of the championship game, and he was saying, "Yeah, this is normally a 4 to 6 week injury. It's a miracle that 1 week later, or 8 days later, I'm back on the field." But that's what these guys. That's why these quarterbacks make the big bucks. Is they put themselves through what to get out on that field. And again, nobody's ever, even the most staunch Kirk Cousins detractors, haters, naysayers, you cannot in any way, shape, or form not acknowledge that he's a tough son of a gun.
And this is the point from Dr. Pro. I feel a lot better about his dedication over watching. There's this, I don't know how many times I just sit and just bite my tongue, listening to somebody or talk about, he's all about that bag, or he's just shows up to the office, does his job, and goes home. He's like any other. He's like the top quarterbacks out there that want to get better. He is not an elite athlete. He needs to do what he does to be as good as he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't all state as a quarterback, right?
Right.
He wasn't the top quarterback in his state. He went in. He was 7th in the depth chart, I think, at Michigan State, if I'm not mistaken.
Somewhere
he
in there,
becomes the starter. He wins a Big Ten title, even though they didn't have the playoff at that time. But I'm just like, he had to. And then he gets. Oh, and then I was drafted in a less than ideal situation. I felt like it was kind of a dead end. And obviously, they just drafted the number 1 guy, and you're drafted 4th. And he was 3rd overall, wasn't he?
Second. RG3 was second behind Andrew Luck. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
the year we had the 3rd pick, by the way. But I digress.
So so he got there by having to outwork everybody, basically, or being ready, because if he doesn't perform well, I think he sucked his first game, backing up. His first backup game, but then later on, end of his rookie contract, he has the you like that game, and then it's earned him, hey, we don't want to go long term with you. Well, and there was that story did come out where, hey, we wanted a guaranteed contract. They weren't willing to give it to us, or we wanted an extension with guaranteed money for this many years because. And they referenced that quarterback got 3 years guaranteed. He had a longer contract, but the other player got 3. And they wanted to. And this is from an interview with Bussin' of the Boys, I think. Right. And so they gave him all. They just signed him for 1 year because they weren't willing to give him the 3-year fully guaranteed. When actuality, he's not the first player to ever get 3 years guaranteed.
Right. No. So, that was kind of a thing. That's kind of a thing that even I will say. It's just like, if player X signs a 3-year fully guaranteed deal and player Y signs a 6-year deal where the first 3 years are fully guaranteed and the last 3 years are just funny money, those in effect are essentially the same deal. So no, he's not the first quarterback that's had 3 years fully guaranteed. He's the first quarterback where that just happens to be 100% of the contract term. But at the end of the day, that I've talked about, how, what the Vikings gave him, and I've said it a million times. I thought it was the right move at the time. The other moves that they made around him, certainly didn't help things. And, we're not going to get into that because we've gone into that ad nauseum. But the bottom line is this, I'll say this, regardless of how it has turned out, and even though it hasn't turned out as well as we, as fans of the team, and even I think he himself would say, hasn't turned out to be as successful in the playoffs as we would have wanted it to be.
I really don't know if me and Sarah were watching the same show. I don't know. Not with this comment.
Well, let me finish what I'll say. I will say this. Him coming here was the best thing for him. Let's just leave it at that. All right, what's Sarah say? It seems Kirk doesn't believe in himself, and if you don't believe in himself, how am I? I will say that there are times. I'm not going to say that Kirk doesn't believe in himself at all. I will say that there are moments where he has doubts, and that's human nature. Okay, I'm not breaking any news here. That's human nature. We all doubt ourselves at times. I think this is the one part. This is the only part of this thing about Kirk that I'm going to nitpick. When you saw the Buffalo game, and I said this on Sunday's show, so I'll repeat it a little bit.
I think you kind of misquoted him though. I don't think he said this wouldn't have been fair to JJ, but I don't remember him saying fair to JJ. But yeah, go ahead.
Either way, in the Buffalo game, it's 4th and 18. They're breaking the huddle, and he's telling Justin, "I'm throwing you this ball. I don't care what the coverage is. I don't care about anything else. It's coming to you." And in the Giants game, he says it. You're right. I'll paraphrase just to make sure that I'm not misquoting him. But as near as I remember him saying, it wouldn't have been fair to throw the ball to him in that situation with the season on the line. And I'm like, well, why is it any more or less fair than the Buffalo game? Now, in fairness to Kirk, the Buffalo game was coming out the 2-minute warning. So he was on the sideline and had Kevin O'Connell in his ears. Whereas the Giants game, they were on the field because they just missed that connection to KJ on 3rd down. So the circumstances are not entirely perfectly lined up. But at the same time, it's just like, to Sarah's point about him doubting himself, it's just like, yes, there have been people who have said if he had taken the sack, we would have been more mad at him. Or if he would have thrown an interception, we would have been more mad at him. And I disagree. If he had thrown the ball into double coverage against Justin Jefferson and it gets knocked down or it gets intercepted, I would have said, hey, we would have looked at the replay, and the replay would have shown us the same thing it shows us now, that he had Lawrence bearing down on him. Thielen was nowhere open. KJ hadn't broken open yet, and TJ Hawkinson was short of the sticks. So I would have been consistent to say, well, you know what? It was an interception, but I ain't going to be mad at you because I'd rather that's where you put it. Because he didn't have very many good options. He just didn't take what I think was the best one. But that's the only part I'm going to say about him that was bad. It's just like, how do you say this in Buffalo and how do you say this in New York? But
that hasn't changed from before. It hasn't changed from now, right? And I will disagree with anybody that says those were the same situations, right? The reason why I say this is one is 4th and 18 and one is 4th and 8. One, he had plenty of time to throw the ball. Nobody was about to hit him. And Justin Jefferson was already breaking on his route. And the last play of the game is 4th and 8, and then he was about to get hit. And you're looking at the video, Justin Jefferson's not breaking anywhere. He is still head going forward, back of his head to Kirk. I agree. I even tweeted when it happened, he fucked up. I still say, Kirk, realize that lineman's going that way, step to your right. Mm-hmm. That's where I, find the fault in him, is like, give yourself more time to give Justin Jefferson more time to get down the field.
Right.
And then it would give more time, maybe just KJ still ran an awful route, but in that, almost the better throw, if he could have saw it, even though, Dalvin Cook clipped Cleveland to make that fucking happen, right? Mm. He tripped him. But he had space on that defender on the swing, the route to the outside. I don't know if it was whatever. He was going to the flat.
Right.
And he had 10 yards between him and the defender, or 8 yards between him and the defender, he could possibly make that guy miss. So that would have been an option. If he steps to the right, which, I think a Pat Mahomes is more apt to do,
right?
Because I feel like he's one of the elite pocket presence guys in the league and does an awesome job on that. And that's been my detractor on Kirk.
Well,
is that I think he doesn't step out of pressure like
often.
Some other players do.
Right.
He sits, waits, he's locked on his, he's reading the field and he forgets to move his freaking feet away from traffic. But how many times did we see in that show where he took the hit and delivered the ball?
Oh, absolutely.
That was amazing.
Well, real quick, I want to give some shout outs here. To Eva the Hope, what's up with the $5 super chat? Dave, I want at least $1.
I don't even see it.
I'm just kidding. There it is.
There we go. Fellas, are you guys going to buy the new jerseys? Justin will need to send me that one over his shoulder.
Yeah, okay.
I love it, man. I love that jersey. That's my favorite design of all time. So I've always wanted them to do that jersey.
There was one more in here.
My
Viking Gaming.
My chat's catching up now. Sorry, people.
Yeah, that's all right. Viking Gaming, what's up? Good to see you. But I do agree with what Dave put in there. I think we all agree on this. It was still a horse crap play call. And I said that the night we did the live after show where I put more of the blame on O'Connell, where it's just like, don't even have that option available to him. Now, at the end of it, he should still know not to take that option. But I think to your point about him moving, I think his biggest problem and the biggest thing in his mind, and it goes back to something that Mahomes' trainer said to him. Mahomes' trainer said, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And if that's the one thing I could say to Kirk, I would say that. I would say, Kirk, you hang in there and you hang in there, and a lot of times you deliver a ball as you're getting hit. But I think his biggest problem at times is he expects that everything else around him is going to go the way it was designed to. And what I mean by that is he's expecting that his line's going to hold up. And at this point, we all should know that line ain't holding up for you. So don't expect it to. You need to know right off the bat that that's just not going to be the case. But having said all that, I am excited for this season. I'm excited for, second year with the same coordinator, same offensive system, all that. Yes, somebody pointed out to me, well, he had Kevin Stefanski for the last third of 2018 and then into 19. I'm like, yeah, but this is the first year he's had 2 training camps with the same guy. So let's not split hairs with that. So I am excited to see what he's going to do. I am excited to see. The Vikings made a bet with their offensive line, and we're all still kind of whatever about it. In the Zone has said it ad nauseum. Dave, the guy who loves the big round bellies, there is one thing to say. This is the second year in a row with the same 5 guys on the offensive line. That's true. There is something for consistency. But at the same time, what good is consistency if you've got below average players on the interior of your line? I don't know. So hopefully, what's up, Rhino? Good to see you.
My hope there is that Ed jumps up this year, and then our center has as good a year as he started the season, and that will do wonders. Cleveland just getting more and more comfortable at the same position. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much credit in it. CBS writer put us 10th best offensive line.
Which is preposterous, by the way.
10th best offensive line. I think he's putting a lot of weight on the tackles.
Yeah,
because they're so good.
But that doesn't work when you're talking about an offensive line unit. You can't say we could have the 2. Let's say we had the 2 best tackles in the league. Let's just, for the sake of conversation, say both our tackles were healthy and they were the best left tackle and the best right tackle in the league. If you've got the 20th center and the 25th and 26th interior guards, that doesn't mean you average it out to say, well, they're a top 10 offensive line because they got the 2 best tackles. No, I'm sorry. They're not a top 10 O-line. No.
If I had a game ball to give it out today, I would give it to Bandito with all your comments, man. You're very positive.
Bandito's been missing for a minute, but he's back and he's in full force. I tell you what. Anyway.
But yeah, we got Rhino in the house. Make sure you're subscribed to Vikings Uncensored YouTube channel.
Rhino and Brunswick, they throw it down on Twitter Friday nights, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, what was I going to say? One thing I wanted to know, if I had Kirk Cousins and Kevin O'Connell, or maybe they could just give me the freaking more game film about it. When Kirk called he called it on himself. We didn't know that.
Oh, the QB sneak in Buffalo.
The QB sneak in Buffalo. So there was a lot of stuff here where I feel Kevin O'Connell being a first-year coach, that is one of the things that kind of made some of the mistakes that happened throughout the year. Because when Kevin O'Connell says, I was going to call timeout,
then do it.
Why don't you?
Yes, I'm with you.
That was my thought. Yes. Dude, if you're going to, don't say I was going to. Why didn't you? And he says, you call it on your own? Yeah. Well, who else would have called it? Did you call a quarterback sneak? No. So I want to know what happened there. What was there like problem with the, the headset?
But I get it too.
You couldn't get a play call in.
I mean, on the previous play, or maybe it was 2 plays before that. Remember, they had thrown the pass to Justin Jefferson, and they initially ruled it a touchdown, and then they said no, he was down at the 1. So I don't know if I can't remember if there was a play in between that or not. But having said all that, that's the thing, Kevin. You don't get to say,
the previous play was Cook falling on his butt.
Okay, so then that Jefferson touchdown down at the 1 was 2 plays before that. But no, that's what I said. I forget who was on, but I was saying that I want to see the biggest thing I'm looking forward to, or that I want to see. People say, what player is going to step up? What player is going to make that next step? I want to see that from Kevin O'Connell. I want to be like, dude, okay, you did pretty good for your first year. You cleaned up the locker room. You've got a better culture, all that good stuff. Now it's time to get busy. You can't go to your quarterback after the fact. If he's breaking the huddle and you don't know what he's doing, then call timeout. It's not like you're in a hurry up mode and now it's 3rd and 1 and the defense is reeling. The defense had already been set. Go ahead. What's up, zone? Go ahead and call your timeout. And thinking back at it, you know what? Both O'Connell and Cousins, you don't want to call timeout after that 3rd down against the Giants. But 4th and 8 with your season on the line. Call timeout. Talk it over. Don't just run with it.
Did we have timeouts?
We had 1 timeout left, and they didn't want to use their last timeout. So I get it. What's up, Top Shot?
Yeah.
But anyway, at the end of it, I'm looking forward to this season. I really am, and I'm really looking forward to this offensive.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped up to the fact that I saw what I think everybody was very positive that he takes Tuesdays off. I was waiting to hear like, oh my God, he takes Tuesdays off.
Whatever. No.
But I did hear someone say,
you're working way too hard for that.
And I was thinking, and then they were going, I would think, well, what about Thursday night games? Well, I didn't say I doubt he takes Tuesdays off on Thursday night game week. But I think there was comments, and I think Purple Daily was like, yeah, it was a little iffy on the Tuesday nights, but we did because there was a time when Brad Johnson would come in and they would do their thing on Tuesday, and Childress was get out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, Childress is a dick. But anyway, still a good offensive mind. But anyways, I was like, but they showed video of him with KOC. He's saying, what do you like here? What play do you like here? They showed a video of them actually doing that kind of communication. We just don't know what day of the week that was on. So yeah, I think everybody's thought. I am shocked actually how and there's a lot of them. I would say most YouTubers of Vikings, at least ones with like thousands of subscribers, are really a lot of times negative about Kirk. How positive they were talking about him after seeing this. And honestly, I felt like we saw a lot of this just in brief snippets, and they just put it together in a video. Mm-hmm. We didn't see how the only thing we didn't see is him interacting with his kids, interacting with his family, bringing his kid in the locker room. I did see some like, well, someone cracking on him about, what do you didn't know you could bring your kid? You're the quarterback, man. You can bring your kid in that locker room. I'm like, dude doesn't want to break the rules. I don't know what to tell you. Jeez. I don't know. He doesn't think to bring his kid into the locker room because kids aren't allowed. I don't know. Kids maybe aren't allowed in the locker room.
What's up, Mike Sports 5? Good to see you.
But there was some nitpicking out there of little things. But overall, I'll say crazy surprised how positive everybody was.
I'll say it like this. Anybody who wants to say, oh, well, Tuesday, or what about Thursday night game? You're trying too hard. You're trying too hard to not like somebody or to find something you don't like. If you're going to, obviously, I'm guessing that if he takes Tuesdays off, that obviously there's some concessions made when you have a Thursday night game, because guess what? Well, when you play on Thursday, now you have that mini bye week. So I'm guessing that he probably gets his extra day as one of those days. I don't know, but at the same time, we trying way too hard.
I'm gonna clip this right here. Wild card loss wasn't on Kirk. This is
oh, we've said that
pretty
a million
impressive.
times.
Pretty
I've
impressive
said it
there.
too. I don't even know why you're trying to be that.
You better doesn't but every one of these improved years were except Ingram, who was rookie. He improved over the season. I don't know. I can't. I'm still not down on Ingram because players will go jump from 1 year to second year. So yeah, we can see and we will see an improvement, and they must like him that much that they and they're not even really bringing in competition for our guards.
Miss you too, Benito. Good to see
you.
Oh,
hey, we appreciate you, man. Just have to be like 3 people each
what's up?
The top 10.
What's up? What's up, Skull Mafia? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing you next month.
I agree here. I agree with you, Rhino. I think people are just the stepping on Kirk Cousins' foot. They just can't get past it.
Yeah.
Or I think someone said he gave up like the most pressures in the league or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I'm just going to say this about the offensive line. To me, the offensive line is definitely better than what it was in 2021, as an example. Definitely that.
Sub zone.
I will say this. In 2021, when we played against bad defensive lines, we survived. When we played against mediocre defensive lines, we got crushed. And when we played against great defensive lines, we got obliterated. Now, last year, against bad defensive lines, we held our own, and we
held our own against Buffalo. I thought.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Now, when you go up against good pretty good defensive lines, they're in a dogfight. They were in a dogfight against Washington. That was a good defensive line, but not great. They were in a dogfight against Buffalo, good defensive line, but not great. They pulled out those games. Well, Washington's just bad offensively and only got 7 of their points because the referee done blow up our safety play. But anyway, they survived and won an epic game against Buffalo. But so they have raised their level to where now they're competing against pretty good defensive lines. But my problem is they're still going to get crushed by great defensive lines. We talking about Philly, we talking about San Francisco, talking about Dallas, the 3 teams that I have them behind. Yes, they have improved. So where now when they're going up against bad teams, they dominate, and going up against good teams, they can survive. But against great defensive lines, I still feel we got bad mismatches all over the place.
Well, one of the things I like is that this is the second year with the head coach, and then you could tell at the beginning of the year, and do what Mike Sports Vibe says, and hit the like button.
There you go.
Both channels, but that they will have like these protections figured out. They got different personnel in. You could tell at the Dallas game how just unprepared we were on the offensive line and figuring out the protection. How just a complete disaster that hopefully we'll figure out going into the second year with Kevin O'Connell.
Hopefully.
So, and I agree with everything you said about clip it. Agree with everything you said about how it was the really good defensive lines that gave us the worst trouble. So that was, that's when it was like, oh yeah, we're going to lose this game because.
And that's my point is that, over the course of a 17-game regular season, where you're probably going to go up against 2 or 3 outstanding defensive lines and 3 or 4 pretty good defensive lines, and then a whole bunch of not so good to bad defensive line. Yeah, you can survive and have a good regular season, but I'm talking about when you get into the playoffs and you got to go on the road against Philly or San Francisco, or even at home against the Dallas as an example, where now it's nut cutting time. And that's where I'm still concerned about it. Yes, they've improved and they've moved those margins up to where they're definitely going to be, like their 75th percentile is higher than what it was the previous year. I'll grant you that, but that's where I'm still concerned. And that's why I still would bring in somebody else. But apparently they either like what they got or they think that whatever is out there is not an improvement. I've brought up the name Dalton Reisner, but maybe this injury that Reisner had just scares him off too much. I don't know. We had a question way back. I want to address this question real quick, and I forget who it was because we've had so many chats come through here about Danielle Hunter and what's the scoop there. The scoop is that nothing has changed because there's no urgency for it to change, and nothing's going to change until there is some urgency. I'm on record saying I don't think he's back. I hope I'm wrong because I'd love to see him here, but what do you got to say on this Danielle Hunter?
We just have all the leverage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like it'll come down if he does stay. It'll be a 1-year deal, and hey, we know you deserve a little more money, so we're going to give it to you, but we're not releasing you. We're not releasing you, so you can play this year with this contract, or you can
lose a lot of money.
You can sit and then he gets fined or whatever, and his contract tolls, and we start the next year. He's a year older and still under contract with us.
Yeah, we'll see.
He just absolutely has no leverage, and I think knowing that, he can say, hey, at least the Vikings are going to do something for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is and they don't have to, right? So,
right? No, they don't.
So yeah, I kind of feel it'll come down to that, and I mean. Again, I'm going to talk about a window. They think they can win, so they are going, and they got Flores, and Flores wants him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Because why wouldn't you? And yeah, that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I was too evil to hope that threw out that question. I knew I'd find it eventually. I wanted to give credit to who put the question out there. But having said that, we put on the thumbnail. Hold on.
2 and 15.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's just too evil.
Where can I send that $5 back?
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
kidding. No, I appreciate the $5, man.
Yes, absolutely. The thumbnail said top 5 Vikings teams of our lifetime. You want to go first on this? Because let's
do these unis.
Oh, you want to do the unis? All right. Yes, I'm looking forward to this. These things are so beautiful. I'm sure you guys have all seen it there, but man alive, we should just go to those permanently. If I'm being honest with you, I've never really been sold on that little tail that they have on the numbers, like the 2s and the 8s and everything.
Yeah, I don't like that on the numbers,
on that.
But it's kind of because of the way the arm is. They have that tail on it, so I think that's why. It's I think less pronounced when they first did the uniform. I think they kind of tailored it down, but these are my absolutely freaking favorite uniforms of all goddamn time.
They are just beautiful.
I can't tell you how much I love this. This is just insane, man. These are perfect, and the stripes on the pants too. It reminds me, man. It reminds me of growing up. This is what it looked like, except with newer material. But
right.
Yeah, this is.
But I like the helmet.
And notice how they're doing all these, these old football card poses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jefferson didn't do a photo shoot. There was some guy trying to make waves saying, "Hey, there's a reason why Justin Jefferson wasn't in." He was a troller trying to get clicks,
whatever.
And he's saying because he's going to hold out.
Trying too hard here.
Oh, Smith. There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see that meme of Cousins and it said, "What's really different here?" I don't know if that was real or if that was somebody just trolling him or not. Because if it was, it's like, come on.
Oh, dude. People are giving him crap because he said these are cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Whatever.
But yeah, I like the gray and the face mask too. By the way,
I don't know. I'm gonna have to I don't know if I can pull this off buying one of these jerseys. Oh man, these are so freaking just. I play them every home game. I don't care. These are the jerseys. These are the jerseys. Osborne. All right. What is that?
It's him probably being told, "Hey, make a couple funny posts." Oh, there you go.
My boss is from. This is a nice little story. My boss lives in Knoxville. When that's where Harrison Smith's from. Mm-hmm. And I remember being, I was a Notre Dame fan. I'm more a Minnesota Gopher fan now. But when he got recruited, he was considered an athlete, being playing. He was a running back in high school. And so she is friends and really good friends, and she says, yeah, we are friends with this football player, and I'm like, and she goes, who? Harrison Smith. And she tells me, do you know what Harrison Smith? I'm like, yeah, he's a Minnesota Viking. And I started rattling off all this information. And
Yeah.
says, yeah, I told these people that you were a YouTuber.
Nice.
And I gave links to our interviews with the former. He says, yeah, he's interviewed Vikings players. And I said, well, there were former ones. So I gave him those, and I said, hey, in this one, Paul Krause is saying who he wanted to play with. We asked him, or you asked him, I think, who he would want to play with, and he said Harrison Smith. And I said, so in this video, Paul Krause, the greatest ever done it, is saying he wanted to play with Harrison Smith. So, tell him to
now,
watch
would
this
Paul
one.
Krause give up the number 22, though? That's the real question. Who's going to wear 22? I'm sure Harry would let him do it. I'm just being dumb right now. But having said that, no, I agree. I would love to see these, and I don't want to just see them week one. I wouldn't mind seeing them for half the year. I really wouldn't. But
they kept the same. I think this is the same purple that they have on the current uniforms. But, yeah, I would say these are the Randy Moss rookie, your jerseys, even though they were, a little more shinier of a purple.
Yeah, it's a touch shinier purple than
yeah, I think these are my favorite by far. Oh, there we are. But and I was gonna one of the things I wanted to do too, but let's do this. And I didn't pick a 5, and the reason why I didn't pick a 5 because I think we'd pick the same 5. So I'm gonna let you pick the 5, and I'll say if I agree or not.
All right, so I'm gonna do this 2 different ways. My first list is who the 5 best teams are.
Oh, okay.
5 best teams.
That's a different story.
Yes, because I actually have a different order of who I think the teams.
Is that all time?
In my lifetime. In your
lifetime.
So, no, for Purple People Eaters, never saw you play. I was born in 1979, so my first real memories are of the 87 run. Did I hear you say Childress was a good offensive mind? No, we didn't say that. I did. You said he was a good offensive mind? You did?
I don't even remember 2009.
I remember he had a pretty good quarterback, but anyway, fair enough.
I mean, he was known for being a good offensive coach. If you don't think
discussion for a different day. Discussion for a different day. Let's do this.
Brett Favre vouched for him.
Did he though, or was it more of a marriage of convenience? But I digress. Okay. Number 5 on my list, best Vikings team of all time, is going to be the 2000 Minnesota Vikings, led by second year Dante Culpepper, the last legs of Chris Carter, Randy Moss, third year, last year of Robert Smith, and a fairly mediocre defense. That's my number 5 team of all time in my lifetime.
Which one was that? Sorry, say it again.
2000.
Okay.
That's number 5. Number 4, 2017. Case Keenum, Mike Zimmer, Zim Reapers, that sort of thing. Now, number 3 on my list is the 1987 team. It was a strike-shortened season, so don't let that 8-7 record fool you. 3 of those losses were with scrub players. That team was the 5th team out of 5 because there was only the 3 divisions and 2 wildcard teams, and they were the 5th team to get in. Number 2, 2009, aforementioned, Brett Favre, Jared Allen on defense, the Williams Wall, Antoine Winfield, some guy named Adrian Peterson, and, of course, to no surprise to anybody, the best team in my lifetime, the 1998 rookie Randy Moss, 15-1. We're going to Miami until we weren't. Thank you to about 5 different things. No, it was not just Gary Anderson missing a field goal. It was not just Dennis Green taking a knee. Robert Griffith had 2 interceptions on that tying drive in his hands that he dropped. Robert Smith ran out of bounds 3 times on the missed field goal drive. And Randy Moss dropped a touchdown in the end zone. They settled for a field goal on that drive. So it wasn't just one thing. That's my order, 5 through 1, of the best teams. Now, my order. So, recap. Number 1, 1998. Number 2, 2009. Number 3, 1987. Number 4, 2017. And number 5, 2000. Yes, I know. Real simple. The 5 teams that made the NFC Championship game in my lifetime. Honorable mention goes to 1999 with Jeff George. But realistically, I don't think any of the other teams that lost in the divisional round of the playoffs you could really put above any one of the teams I had in my top 5. But what say you?
I mean, I again, I thought we were going to do the same one, so I didn't, and we pretty much did. I would say 98 definitely. And dude, I was born in 73, so I had 3 Super Bowl teams.
Well, you can say your lifetime. You don't have to. You do whatever you want.
75.
Well, obviously for you, yeah, 75.
Yeah, right. I put them number 1 all time when I did this last year, and then I did 98. Well, I said like you know what I did? I did like top quarterback seasons, and I said 75, and then I said, I put
okay, sure,
and I think I did that. But if I would kind of do that similar. It'd be hard for me to pick out 98 or 75 as the best. Which one was the best team? But 75 was crazy. It's kind of like how I feel about the 65 Twins. I still consider them the best team Minnesota ever had. Because it was that. They have 3 guys in there that are just the best, some of the best that ever did it.
Yeah, I'll say this. I will definitely put the 65 Twins above the 87 Twins, even though the 87 won the World Series, 65 didn't. I don't know that I'm not disagreeing with you per se, but I don't know that I can fully put 65 ahead of 91. 91 was, now granted, it was in my lifetime.
Dude, we had the Dodgers and we beat Sandy Koufax in one of those games. I was just like,
yeah,
that's why I'm thinking.
One, but
and
again, this ain't
one of the games. Then he came back on 3 days rest and mowed us down. Yes. Like what the f?
Yeah,
but I got what's his name? He just made the Hall of Fame.
In which sport? I'm sorry.
Baseball.
Oh, I don't know. I don't follow baseball.
Anyways, I got his autograph at the All-Star game when I was in Miami. Let's see here. But so then, I'm going to throw 2009 in there, obviously. Okay. I don't know 2017. It's probably going to be there. I just felt like offensively there were some holes. Defense, obviously, is one of the best we've ever had. And then I was thinking like maybe, I could see like the 99 season. Maybe was there a Culpepper year that I could have put in there?
Not
but
really.
Our defenses weren't the greatest.
Right. No. I mean the 2004 season where he was, runner up to Peyton Manning for MVP. They beat the Packers in the wild card round, but then they lost to Philly.
But I could pick any one of the other 70, the Super Bowl teams. Like 75, we didn't even go to that. We didn't even go to the Super Bowl. We went to the NFC title game.
Right.
So I could go pick out the other, other Super Bowl seasons and say that. That's why I didn't want to do it because we, even though we were 6 years apart, it's like I just picked 3 of these guys and then throw in 2009 and then in 98. That's fine.
I mean, I'll re-emphasize my honorable mention of 99. And I'm going to say it like this. 2017, 2000 are a notch below 87, 2009, and 1998. They're a notch below those 3 teams. So
which one? Say that again.
So I'm saying 98, 09, and 87 are a complete tier.
Oh yeah. I'm throwing 87. It was just like it was the strike year. Otherwise, that team would have had a hell of a lot better record.
Yes,
because we did a terrible job bringing in scrubs for the scabs, and we lost all 3 games.
Yeah,
but to win 2 road games like that—that's
where I'm going with this.
And then could have won a third to go to the Super Bowl. That was a crazy good team.
Well, to go to overtime, let's remember that too. We don't know.
Oh, 2, yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Were we down by 8 or we do?
No, we were down by 7. They didn't have no 2-point conversion back then.
They didn't?
No, they did not have the 2-point conversion in 1987.
Shit, I can't remember. When did that come in?
I don't know. I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure that when
I had it in junior high because we didn't kick field goals. And I was in junior high at that. We didn't kick field goals in junior high.
1994.
They didn't have the 2-point conversion in pros?
According to Wikipedia, so it's
that's crazy because I guess high school and college and junior high we had it. So, We
Two-point
didn't kick
conversion.
field
Yeah,
goals.
in college it was earlier than that. You're right, and probably in high schools too. But no, in the pros.
Yeah, 87. I was in junior high, and they
Yeah.
were, and we had like a meeting in where we were told, hey, you can now you can block with your hands now, and not do this.
Yeah.
Like the old electronic football players, they
Yes,
were
the
like
old
this for a reason
electronic
because
ones.
you couldn't
There you
block
go.
with your hands.
There you go.
So yeah, I was playing football when that transition happened.
Hey, if I missed you earlier, because I know I didn't go with the tagline. What's up? Worthless opinion, single greatest Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, YouTube handle of all time. Because your opinion is rarely ever worthless, especially on our shows. But I digress. I don't remember if I said you or not. So if I said you twice, okay, twice is nice. But I digress. Go ahead. So here's where I'm going with this. I've got 98, 09, and 87 a tier above 2017, 2000, and 1999. But the reason I rank the teams in that order is because I believe that if somehow, some way you could put any of those two teams on the same football field together, that I believe that 98 would beat 09. And I believe 98 would beat everybody, and I believe 09 would beat everybody else, not named 98, that sort of thing. But I've got a separate list here. Teams most likely to have won their Super Bowl had they not kicked away the NFC Championship game. Are you ready?
Well, we only went to 4.
Oh, I thought you went to 5. I thought you said 75.
I'm just saying in your lifetime, we only went to 4.
No, we went to 5.
87, 98,
09,
and 2017.
2000.
Oh, and 2000. Okay.
And 2017. That's 5. Yes.
All right. Sorry.
So number 4, number 5, 2000 and 2017. You can put them in any order you want. They both would have got killed. I'm sorry. Ray Lewis and company would have beaten Dante, Chris Carter, and Randy Moss. And even though it would have been in our own building, Bill Belichick would have found a way to beat Case Keenum. But my official list, I'm going to keep 2000 at the bottom simply because I will give us minuscule slight edge to the fact that it would have been an incredible 2 weeks with the Super Bowl in our building. So number 5 is 2000. Number 4 is 2017. And here is where the list gets interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3, most likely team that lost in the NFC Championship game in my lifetime for the Minnesota Vikings that would have best chance to go on to win the Super Bowl. Number 3, 1998. That's right. My best team ever still only had the third best chance. Why? Because they had so many injuries in that game against the Atlanta Falcons that unfortunately, well, for the first 58 minutes, it was great to be in attendance in that game. The last 2 minutes in overtime, not so much. Ed McDaniel blew out his knee. John Randall was limping because he hyperextended his knee in the last play of the Arizona Cardinals game the week before. Randy Moss had he got hit with a helmet right into one of his the right side of his abs, and that's why he was somewhat ineffective from the second quarter on. David Dixon blew out his knee. Robert Smith blew out his knee. Going up against the defending Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos with John Elway and what was that running back? Terrell Davis. I'm sorry. Even though I think 98 was the best team, I think they're only the third best chance to win the Super Bowl because I don't know how they would have done against Denver. But number 2 on the list, we've got 2009 and 1987 left. Number 2, the 2009 Minnesota Vikings with Brett Favre. You saw how purple his ankle was. I do believe that they probably would have defeated the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning. But at the end of it, for me, I put the 1987 Road Warriors. I know, 8-7. Don't look at that record. That team went on the road against the New Orleans Saints, who were widely regarded as the second best team in the NFC behind the first-seeded San Francisco 49ers, but they were the wild card, so they were the 4 seed. We went on the road and absolutely destroyed the Saints. Anthony Carter with a punt return touchdown. Wade Wilson with a Hail Mary pass to Hassan Jones at the end of the second quarter. When the Saints had 12 men on defense and gave the Vikings a free play, they absolutely crushed the Saints that day, and nobody gave the Vikings a chance to win that game. And then nobody gave us a chance to beat the Joe Montana, Jerry Rice-led San Francisco 49ers. The next week, we end up winning 36-24, and the score was not even that close. San Francisco got a couple of garbage time touchdowns from Steve Young. That's right. The Vikings put Joe Montana on the bench in the playoffs during his prime. Somehow, some way, we beat the 2 best teams in the NFC in the 49ers and the Saints. Chicago was widely regarded as the second best team. That was coming off just a couple seasons after the 85 Bears. They ended up losing to Washington. Somehow, some way, the Vikings had a nail biter against the Washington football team. I will not say their actual mascot. Darren Nelson drops a pass on fourth down. You can blame Darren Nelson. You can blame Wade Wilson. You can blame Anthony Carter for running the wrong route and not pulling the coverage off of him the way he was supposed to, however you want to put it. I'm telling you right now, I know with absolute certainty that team would have beaten the Denver Broncos, led by John Elway again. Think about that. Think of the symmetry there. 1987 and 1998. Had we won our NFC championship games, we would have been facing John Elway. John Elway's Broncos could not get over the hump back in the 80s. Washington absolutely destroyed them. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying that the 87 team was better than 09 or better than 98, but I am telling you that if all 5 teams had gotten to their Super Bowls, they would have had the best chance to win one. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. My top 5, 87, 09, 98, 17, 2000. Just one Super Bowl before we die, ladies and gentlemen. That's the mantra. Just one before we die. I know Grandpa Dave wants to be the dynasty that New England is. And yes, that would be great, Dave. I agree with you. It would be awesome. But I'll just take one first before I'm worried about being a dynasty. I just want one.
Let me address this. People are like went off about me saying service offensive mind. Sorry, you went to the playoffs with Tavares Jackson. I mean, to say, oh, you got fired the next year. Nobody wanted fired more than I did, just because I didn't think he was a cancer to the team. But he took a Tavares Jackson to the playoffs. Yeah, Favre comes in, they kick ass. Had one of the best offensive years, and you can't say, oh, yeah, it was Favre. Well, he had something to do with it. Childress had something to do with it. But again, I could say offensive. I don't know. I can't say how I hated Childress. I hated him. I didn't like him at all. But I can't say that he didn't take us to the playoffs with with no quarterback.
Leslie Frazier took us to the playoffs with Christian Ponder, didn't he?
What's that?
Leslie Frazier got us to the playoffs with Christian Ponder.
Yeah. A great, who was the offensive coordinator?
Billy Musgrave, I believe.
All right. Yeah. So, anyways,
my point, Dave.
They're acting like I like him and going to bat for him. No, man, I can't stand him. But hey, we did have one of the best years of our lives. And hey, that was one of the Brett Favre's best years, and he was 38. That was probably his top 3, if not one of the best.
Top 4. His 3 MVPs were all better than that year. But I get your point. Your point is well stated about the Favre thing. But here's what I will say. The 2008 team and the 2012 team that got to the playoffs were on the backs of Adrian Peterson and not either of those 2 head coaches. I'm just saying.
And I'll leave it to you guys. He's saying it was all Favre. Okay. I won't argue the point. I was just saying, hey, he's an offensive coordinator and he was a head coach in the NFL.
Put that one back up from Rhino.
You have to be probably pretty good.
Put that one back up
those jobs.
Rhino, got to call you out, man. I love you, brother. We got to talk about when we're going to do shows this year. But if we had won NFC championship game was in Minneapolis, no. We're not going to butterfly affect that. Here's what happened. When the Vikings lost to the Bears, that clinched the first seed for the Saints. The Saints didn't try in week 17 against the Carolina Panthers, who were going to ultimately get the number 1 seed. If the Vikings had beat Chicago, the Saints would have tried to beat the Carolina Panthers. I know Drew Brees played for a half, so I'm not going to say, well, they benched Brees, they benched all the stars. No, they didn't. But no, it's not that simple. Even if they had won that game in Chicago, I'm here to tell you the Saints would have tried a little harder to beat Carolina when they didn't care. And I'm sorry, but they were not world champs and they were NFL champs.
That's why I got you. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
I did. You do bring up 2000.
I love you, Rhino. I'm sorry.
You bring up 2000. I think you bring up 2018 a lot, where we played the Bears. You called it their JV team.
Yeah.
When I went and looked back at who played. And just because my reminder, when I was watching in my room, just on the other side of this wall, I was like, "Oh shit, they're playing their starters." The only guys their running back had like 7 carries or like 9 carries more than he had the week before, and had over 100 yards. their only one quarterback played their starter, and the only other guy that had any significant was the defensive end, and I think is because he was dinged up and they didn't want to play him and risk it. Uh, their number one receiver sat. I think he was injured, and he only had 700 yards on the season. So I mean, they sat two players of significance, but played everybody else. And I looked at like how they were the week before, and it was like everybody was like right along except for these two players were missing. So they played their. I don't know. I always wanted to bring this up to you because they played their starters against us. Like their running back had one of the best games of the year against us. So, anyways,
they had nothing to play. They had nothing to play for.
Oh yeah, I agree, but they played. They played well. Yeah, we played god awful that game. Our offense couldn't do nothing.
But I do agree with
Darren Nelson in 87. Yeah.
Let's move on from this before we go down too many depressing memories. But I do want to put up rhinos from 801 where Childress always thought he was the smartest guy in that one. If you don't mind, I just got to get his comment up there because
I don't know where is it.
801.
I don't have 801. Jesus.
Yeah.
From 801.
801. 901. Sorry. Right above that. No, up to.
Okay.
Down one. That one. Personality of a mayonnaise sandwich on white bread.
Man, when they tried to test him out as a broadcaster after that, and he was so bad. And the way he dressed too, he had like some tweed suit on. It looked like he should have been a librarian.
I was about to say, whoever
should have been a librarian in a freaking Indiana Jones movie. He looked like he should have been a librarian.
I'll say this: Julie Cousins got nothing on whoever picking out Brad Childress' outfits. Okay, we not gonna say nothing bad about Julie picking out Kirk stuff when we look at Chili's wardrobe. Yeah, I mean he takes the cake on that. But anyway, I digress.
I wanted. So one of the things I want to talk about is what three quarterbacks we wanted next year.
All right, you start. I did the other one first, so you start on this.
I brought up. Let's do this. This is a ranking of who was this ranking by? What is this? Damn it! Oh, this is the Redskins. I won't do this one. The Redskins did a ranking. They ranked Kirk Cousins 11th, which was pretty fair.
That's
not as bad as some.
Yeah.
But let me do this. Let me pull up at least quarterback names from the various starters. And crap. All thumbs today. Let me bring that back up. Window, boom, sure. All right. So Dave, I covered the team. Oh, still go. All right. Anyways, I covered the team. Yes, he was there and he had his attributes like drafting, but he rode Andy Reid's coattails of the job. He was post-Tice, but he wasn't.
Well, that's funny. We had a question on Sunday show about, why do we keep letting some offensive and defensive coordinators become head coaches? Would they be better off just staying as coordinators? And I said, yeah, there's a lot of head coaches that ultimately are proven to be shown that they were great coordinators, offensively or defensively, but just don't have the chops to be the leader of men. And again, I didn't cover the team, and obviously from a 30,000 fan viewpoint, it looked like
enjoying games on Sunday.
Yeah, it looked like he did not know what he was doing as a head coach. It looked like that he had, the concepts, but it didn't look like he was much of a leader. I don't know. When I see my head coach dressing drags on the team playing like he did on the way to Pittsburgh, the first game we lost that year, I don't know. But regardless, such as much. All right,
wasn't the worst coach we had.
I don't know. This some guy
definitely wasn't the worst coach we had.
Definitely was not the worst coach. I'll give him that.
So the way they did it was they had a top tier guy. The elite guy. They had the elite guy. They had the very good guy, and then they had a guy in a new situation kind of thing. And And what I think would be cool is if they had an Anthony Richardson who's projected, but I don't think they'll do that because they don't want to risk him not being the starter. So I think this is already planned out.
And it's also a lot of pressure to put on a young guy to be having cameras around.
Yeah, I don't think they want that to happen. Right. So I would be really interested in seeing what he's like next year, and he's got the personality. He's got a personality. And that's why I kind of eliminate Lamar Jackson. I don't know how great his personality is for television. I wouldn't mind seeing what makes him work, but I don't know. I just don't see he's going to be like super fun to watch. Now, so as a league guy, I'm like, okay, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Josh Allen's got the personality, and he's also got that Kirk Cousins quality of being this hometown dude. You know, from what was he from? Was it Montana or Wyoming? I forget. But small town dude, you know, just he has that mentality. I would love to see that. You know, being a guy from a small town, from the from like just out in the middle of nowhere, what that guy's like and now. And I think it'd be interesting to see. But hands down, Joe Burrow. I want to see what makes him tick. I think he's going to be the elite guy. That would be everybody would want to follow. I said what the worst. What I put the three I'd like, and I put the three worst. I put in one. That one would be Deshaun Watson. I was like, we're gonna make this really bad. Let's put Deshaun Watson.
Speaking of Rhino, he had a pretty good line.
But Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, and God, I forget who the third one was.
Justin Fields, maybe.
No. But a second guy I thought would be cool. Would be Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, up and coming guy. But is he too much like Joe Burrow? But I put Trevor Lawrence. And then the third guy, God, who did I choose? Oh, and then the third guy I did on the worst, I put Mac Jones. I just didn't. Oh, you know what I did? I said Jordan Love because what the hell happened here?
I have no idea. You're the one running.
Some commercial jumped up and she's eating this cherry. I'm like, what did I got here? Is it pouring up? No. So I said Jordan Love because I wanted archived on how bad the Packers are for everybody to see for eternity.
That'd be sweet.
But if I want to be honest, you know, Justin Herbert would have been interesting. But what is that? Is this a commercial? That's that actress.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I'm looking for the. I don't know what the heck you're doing right. You
sorry. Hit read more. There we go. I was trying to look for read more. Jeez. I thought about Kenny Pickett. I would stick with that. I'll go Trevor Lawrence, and then I would go Joe Burrow, and I would like to see someone just the absolute garbage dumpster fire what Jordan Love will be this year with the Packers.
All right, so your official list is Burrow, Lawrence, and Love, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm not dead set on it because I would think I was thinking Jimmy Garoppolo for the second guy. I was thinking who was it? Yeah, I'll let you talk now.
Well, I had Joe Burrow at the top, but I also figured just you were. So I'll pick my elite guy is Jalen Hurts. So my two candidates for my elite guy were Burrow and Hurts, so I'll go Hurts there. My two candidates for mid-tier guy were Trevor Lawrence and Dak Prescott, so I'll go Dak Prescott. And my bottom tier, Justin Fields. And I say that in the context of I've said to you that I think that I'm not buying into all of the extreme hype on Justin Fields. It's ridiculous. As I said in my video about when that panel on ESPN, you know, the anybody but Kirk, as you put it, for our show last week, where two of them picked Justin Fields and two of them picked Jared Goff out of the four NFC North quarterbacks, as if you're not going to take the guy who just had the best season and the best season of his career. But I think there's something there with Justin Fields still. I honestly do. I don't think he's had the proper infrastructure. I don't think he's had a whole lot around him, either with receiving weapons or offensive line. And so he's kind of been forced into doing what he's done because that's really the only thing he's capable of doing with what he's got around him. But so my official list is Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and Justin Fields. And
I also thought about Brock Purdy, but I didn't know if he would start the season.
Yeah.
I don't know what the situation would be. So I think they would have to have like known, who someone's in a solid position.
Yeah,
Fields would make a lot of sense.
Rhino, I thought about you just a minute ago. I almost said it, and then we got sidetracked. But yes, no, up two more. Up two. The comment from Twitter earlier. You know what, Rhino? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Go ahead and put it in. It was a brilliant line. It was absolutely brilliant. As far as
I'll never talk about Brian. I'll never talk about Chili ever again. I know better now. I know better not to bring up Chili.
It's in regards to you suggesting the possibility of Deshaun Watson, and he had a pretty brilliant line. If he chooses to put it in, I'll wait for it.
Oh, is it? Did he comment on my Twitter when I listed the worst 3 choices? That wasn't me picking like the 3 I wanted to see.
All right, he just put it in there. Put it up there for you. So if we picked if Deshaun Watson got picked,
show would have a happy ending. Oh, Jesus. Did you put that on Twitter? I didn't go look at my comments.
He did put it. I responded to it. I was like, whoa, okay, brilliant. Anyway, I digress. All I'm going to say on Justin Fields is this. I agree with you, Rhino, that the hype right now is too much. I'm just saying.
Give us your top 3 in the comments.
Yeah, all right, there you go. Put in your 3 in the comments. I've got a no on Jackson, and I've got a no on. Well, all right. Don't tell us who you don't want. Tell us who. Give us the 3 that you would put in there. And got a lot of laughing emojis. So you know what, Rhino? If we had a prize to give away for the best comment of the night, no question it'd be you.
You get a second game ball.
Yeah, there you go.
We're gonna give away game balls on. We're gonna keep track of it on. We have to come up with something on our show. But,
exactly.
Tomorrow we're gonna start our
tradition
of giving a game ball on every show for comments.
Okay. Who do you guys got on tomorrow night, by the way?
Nobody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You want to come on?
No, I've got some stuff I got to do, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, give us your 3. Anybody got 3 they'd want to see, or at least the one guy you'd want to see, or?
I'm pretty busy now. I will say this.
Jackson, see, I don't know if Lamar, at least we get a double duty. We get Lamar Jackson and his agent.
Shout out Mike Castellino.
I want to see him having conversations with his agent.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. You mean his mom? What's up, Mike? Good to see you. Mike says he'll join you tomorrow. So if you guys are,
Mike, you want to come on? I'll send you a link.
There you go.
We'll go on at 8:00 Central.
8:00 Central tomorrow night. Mike Castellino. There you go. That's the Mike.
All right, we'll bring you on, Mike,
ladies and gentlemen. So hit up our boy there as well. So right now on the schedule. You know what? I'm not going to go through it again. I went through it on Sunday's show, but we'll put it out there on the community tabs. We'll also put out there. We're getting some flyers put together for Skull Fest. We've almost got all of the details nailed down. We just got confirmation from the owners today that they're going to have a special menu for the event,
cool.
And that is Saturday night before week 1. I believe that is the 9th of September. Yes, the 9th of September. And I'm going to get that. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put the address in the chat here. If I can remember what the Northeast Palace is the name of the place. And that's in Minneapolis, ladies and gentlemen. So again, Saturday night, Northeast Palace, Minneapolis, Skull Fest. I'll be there. Dave will be there. Rap will be there. SK, Gigi, Yogi will be there. And I know as far as fans go, I know Skull Mafia is going to be there. I think Two Evil is going to be there as well, but there's going to be a host of people there. So we're going to do our live show from that, as well as just interact and mingle with you guys. It's going to be off the chain. So if you're anywhere near the Twin Cities, Saturday night before week 1, that's the Northeast Palace, and that's on 4th Street in Minneapolis. Let me put it in the chat here for you. Oh, wait, I can't. You know what? I'm going to private chat it to you, and you put it in the chat, would you?
I'll see this. Josh Allen as Diggs melts
down. That's a good one. I didn't even think of that.
So, Yeah, my last show I did, or last recorded show I did, I talked about I had a Bills fan in my car when I was Ubering, and he asked me, "Oh, I like Cousins." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What?" And he just goes off about how he thinks Cousins great, but then he's like, "Justin Jefferson's like the greatest all time, like the best receiver all time," and you're talking about Diggs, and he's like, "He's a diva," and and stuff like that. So this is a Bills fan complaining about Diggs, but he had like super reverence for our player. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, we tried to warn you
He was
guys.
50 years old too. You'd think he'd have a stronger opinion against us, but no, he loved us. Burrow, Richardson, and Kyler Murray. Because I want to see what Kyler Murray.
Oh boy, that's a good one.
I want to see how much
that.
freaking video games he plays. He wouldn't do it because I'll cut on my video game time.
His stuff.
But we didn't say Richardson because we didn't think he would get. They would allow.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that.
Want a rookie on there.
I don't think they. Yeah, I don't think they would do young guys. What day? Again, that's Saturday night, September 9th.
That's a good fit for. That's a good fit for like Hard Knocks though, like having a rookie quarterback.
Because that's only for like 6 weeks. That's not for the whole season. So go back up to Mike's. Mike said, "Give me Burrow, Young,
gonna watch
Carr.
Murray playing COD."
Yes.
Okay,
if you can get there, Rhino, we'll get you on.
Yeah, Rhino, fuck yeah,
that'd be awesome. Anybody. I know that they tried to get a couple of other creators. I know they put an invitation to Jade from Stars, and
she says she's coming.
So she said for sure. Okay. I don't know how this is all going to come together, but it'll come together, and it's going to be a blast. And I know that there's a live DJ going on after the fact. So after the show's over, there'll be live music at the place as well. So it's going to be a fun night. Earlier that day, SK is going to be indoctrinated into the Vikings World Order.
I'm guessing it's in Northeast Minneapolis.
Oh yeah.
Northeast Palace. It's across. Yeah. It's like northeast of the downtown. It looked like when I put it in last.
Go to the private chat and copy the address and put in the chat for everybody.
Private chat.
All right.
All right. Here's the everybody saved us.
There you go.
This is the Northeast Palace. Oh yeah. Coming from New York. Awesome.
Yes. I cannot wait, Mafia. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't need to say. Everybody in the locker room said, "Yes, yeah, I remember that." That was Brian Robeson doing his interviewing bit. That was everybody. Who wouldn't?
It was to a man.
Diggs,
one of them.
Diggs. Oh my gosh, you ain't lying.
Mama, I can change him.
Yeah, that you're 100% right, Doctor. You are 100% right. So with all that being said, anybody else got your top 3 that you'd want Western New York? Okay, there you go.
You know who's got a tattoo of the finger length?
It is week 1, Zoe. It is week 1. Week 1 is September 10, and it's September 9th. It's the Saturday before week 1.
Hey, Skull Mafia, go Google who has a tattoo of the Finger Lakes.
I don't know what the reference is, but I digress. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's in Rochester because we both said that one time. Hey, I'm in Rochester. So am I. Just different ones. I'm sorry.
Let me Google it to see if it will actually say who has a tattoo.
Well, we said it earlier, Mike. While Dave's we did speak on the retro jerseys earlier. So after the show, go back and watch from the beginning. But we love it. We love it.
So do that, Skull Mafia. Go on Google and put in who has a tattoo of the Finger Lakes.
I have no idea where you're going with this, and I'm not sure I do. But that's all right.
I'm not saying out loud.
All right.
But someone, for some reason, decided to do a tattoo on his body of the Finger Lakes. I don't know why.
That seems rather weird.
It's weird. I know. But if you Google it, you'll know why you wouldn't think it's, you would realize, well, he's a weird dude, so.
All right. Well, I suppose. I suppose. I've never had the inkling to get a tattoo in my life. I will say this: if Kirk Cousins won us the Super Bowl, would I get a "you like that" tattoo somewhere? I mean, yeah, I could be conned into.
Oh, I think Andy, for Wednesday, you'd get you like that tattoo on his right above a tramp stamp of you like that on his butt if we win the Super Bowl now.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said that in one of his videos. I would get a tattoo. I'll get a tramp stamp of you like that if we win the Super Bowl.
You got any video shorts coming out?
So he Googled it.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Yep. He's got a tattoo of Finger Lakes on his body.
All right.
Yeah. There we go. Air Mafia. And that's the only reason I ever heard of the Finger Lakes, because there was his laptop. But anyways, beautiful Air Mafia. I hear it's nice. That's why he's probably got a tattoo of it. Yeah, I have 3 Vikings tattoos. What are they of, man? Where are they at?
All right, put it in the chat. Who's got a Viking tattoo? Just put a Y or an N. Or just put a Y. Who's got
a tattoo of the Vikings? I don't.
Yeah,
my wife is like, nope. That's her. That's her red line.
What was I asking you a minute ago? I was asking you something. I know, production value. And yeah, all of a sudden. No, I don't want that.
From some I got 3 tattoos on a drunk night in college from some comic.
Oh, jeez. Oh, the show's gone off the rails.
Story time. It's story time.
Well, think about this. Next week on Under the Lights, it will be the final Under the Lights before training camp starts. And we'll finally be able to just say, hey, hopefully.
I know. I'm holding you to it, man. On video.
All right. So Skull Mafia says I've got us. Worthless Opinion says he's got one.
Football
of the Norsemen. Nice. Right. I'm not gonna say that I would go that far, but at the same time, no, I'll do something. I'll do it. I'll absolutely.
If I die, I die.
Well, there's that. All right, so I think we're going to wrap it up here in the next 4 to 5 minutes here. But what do you got going on tomorrow? Oh, that's right. You've got Mike Castellino, our Canadian correspondent.
Mike Castellino, guest I've been wanting on for months now.
There you go. Mike will be on with you and the boys tomorrow night with the Skull Experience. Tomorrow,
we're gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
I forget what we're going to talk about on the show tomorrow. We will. We'll talk about something. But we're going to give out. We're going to keep track of game balls on our show, on who gets the game ball in the chat game ball from now on.
I've got a video dropping tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central Time. So on your way out, hit the like buttons on both channels and hit the like button on the video. It is labeled Optimist versus Realist. And so you're going to see the multiple personalities of Purple and Gold for days picking the Viking games. And I'll just leave it at that. So if y'all could hit the like button on that and hit the notification bell. If you don't already subscribe to both Purple and Gold for Days and Minnesota Sports Talk, please hit the subscribe buttons too, as well as all of our affiliates. Mic'd Up Podcast, that's our guy Mike, who's going to be the special guest tomorrow. GG Sports Talk, Purple Pocket Podcast, Purple and Scold Media, Vikings First and Scold, Vikings Uncensored. We all got this community. We're just trying to grow this community. And as I said it with, Yogi, Purple Reigns 247. Let's not forget our boy Yogi as well. This is a community thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a community thing. The more, the merrier. So let's just keep growing our nation. Oh, don't forget to go ahead and put In the Zone podcast back up there as well. Go check out our boy Zone. He just had a live earlier that I was in for a little bit before I came up over here. So hit our boy up there as well. Bottom line is,
that's what I named my fantasy team 2 years ago.
Is that right? Yeah. Did you win?
If I died,
Did you win?
It was I was like one of the best teams. I didn't win though.
So you died. So if you die, you die.
I did die.
Yeah, there you go. By the way, were we going to do something like that again? Because I think we all did the draft, and about 3 of us.
I had the best team in the league, and then I get to the final, I think, right, and I score 80 points. Like I was scoring 170, 180, 200.
Yeah.
And then I get to the fucking final week. I don't even break 100.
Yeah, that
And I'm like,
generally
oh my
happens.
God, every single player had the worst game of the season.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
I was so
There you go.
pissed. But not many people were paying attention.
But
I think Rap had the worst team by the year.
oh gosh, I mean, nobody paid attention after the first 2 weeks. We're just like, all right, sure. Now,
I'm this
granted,
guy.
yeah, exactly.
I play to win.
Don't know, Zone. We'll talk about it. I don't know.
That'd be cool. I mean, we got more guys.
We'll see.
Yeah, because
I know we're
I
trying
don't
to
know.
at
Rick
least
Sosa's not in it this year.
Yeah, I know. Oh gosh, why did you have to do that? Oh my gosh, yeah. Clown.
Who else did we have in
show.
there? We had some listeners. I know that. I forget where. I don't know.
As I
which
said,
listeners
after
were in
about
it.
a couple weeks, I was just like, okay, I don't even remember this. I don't even.
Yeah, Skull Mafia was in it.
That's right, Mafia was in it. But man alive, if
we're gonna do it, my team was awesome. I got Chubb in 3rd round. That was great.
As I said last night, once we get the schedule nailed down, listen, we do our best to try to have a set schedule, and we do our best to try to not overlap with each other, because we all know that you guys bounce around to different channels and whatnot. But at some point, it just can't be helped. I know I'm going to be doing a doubleheader on Monday nights, one of my appearances with Purple and Skull Media, as well as a live myself around 8 o'clock Central Time. Tuesday nights we'll do Under the Lights, which is this show, and then Dave will hop on over and simulcast with Rap on Purple and Skull Media. I know you and GG got Wednesday nights.
We're not allowed to do that.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said simulcast. That'll be exclusively on Purple and Skull Media. Wednesday, you guys got the simulcast. That's what I was thinking of. And Yogi and Rap and SK are going to do Saturday nights. I'm going to try. I might do some pre-games Sunday mornings, depending on my schedule. Haven't figured that all out yet, but we will put that on all of our community pages. We will tweet that all out. One thing I do know for certain is Vikings First and Skull with Dave and the Real Forno Show with Tyler Fornes will still be on Mondays and Wednesdays, and Two Old Bloggers will continue on Sundays through the off season, but will move to Saturdays during the regular season. Now, I don't know which weekend that they move. I don't know if they move week 1 or if they move in the middle of the preseason, but we'll get that out there to you. We'll have
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, see, you had to bring his name up.
You had to put a P in front of that? No, I don't think I can make it. Honestly, I want to. It's one of those things.
You know what?
Person, people aren't a dick to you. It's like, I'm not going to judge a guy because of his, because the way he acts on freaking Twitter. But, hey, I bet if I met the guy, I would share your buzz with him, and we'd have a good beer and a few laughs. Yeah, Broncos def screwed me that Christmas game.
I'm just not going to.
Sure, it was just a typo.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. No. I'm sure it was. In all seriousness, I think we're going to wrap it here. Anything else you? Yes, I agree, Rhino. He does like himself a little bit too much, and his cohort in crime, Spinoza. Spinoza loves Kirk Cousins more than Julie Cousins loves Kirk Cousins. Let's just leave it at that. But I digress. Any last thoughts before we get up out of here, boss?
I
think I mentioned all the shows we got.
I am working on becoming a but to be on Sideline. I think it's called Sideline Sports, which is like Roku and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
I was asked to do it like months ago, but I don't know, he's flaky, a little bit flaky about it. But they've covered the Super Bowl, 4 times now. So trying to be part of a credentialed organization. So let's say if I go to Minnesota, I could do some media shit, but to do requests to get interviews with players,
there you go,
that kind of thing.
There you go.
So I'm gonna try to do that. So hopefully, good things with Minnesota Sports Talk.
There you go.
Wish me luck.
Hit them like buttons on the way out. Like I said, do you have the live setup for tomorrow night yet, or no?
No.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say, go hit the like button on the live for tomorrow night.
I don't set that up. Actually, it's.
Oh, they do. Okay. Well,
they do.
I was trying to get people to ring the notification bell for you, but keep your eyes out on Minnesota Sports Talk and GG Sports, and once the episode gets up there, hit that like button and ring that notification bell.
Zone. That means if I do go on the show, and if guests like yourself come on the show, that means you'll be on it too.
There you go.
So hey,
support. That's all we do. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. Hit the like buttons, hit the subscribe buttons. Like I said, check out my drop.
It's to your cover letter.
It's either gonna go over like a lead balloon or it's gonna go viral, one or the other. But I'm sure you guys will have some incredible feedback for me there. But in all seriousness, thank you so much for joining us. And I said this on Sunday, and I said this the time I appeared with Dave on First and Scold. What I did not realize mid-October last year when I started doing my own channel was how much the chat interacts and how much, I know I speak for Dave, I know I speak for Rap and SK and GG and Dave, Tyler, and Darren, and everybody else in Rhino, that we just absolutely so much appreciate how much you guys interact with us, how loyal you guys are, and that you guys show up all the time. So from the bottom of all of our hearts, thank you so kindly. And guess what? We're less than 2 weeks away, and the content is just going to crank up. We're just a few weeks away, and just a few weeks after that, we're going to get Skull Fest and the regular season started. So thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Yeah, Rhino, I wasn't going to get them for myself. I knew that was impossible reading how they give out opportunities. It's like, but if you are on assignment, with a credentialed organization, so that's my hopefully my end.
Good luck, brother.
Yeah, we'll see.
Appreciate you, Rhino. Appreciate you, Mafia, Worthless, Air Gaming, everybody that was in the chat here tonight.
Great guy.
Appreciate y'all. You have a good night. And Skull Vikes.